When you base a character on ideology, then you've essentially dug yourself into a hole. When we look at the casting of Jodie Whittaker and take into account its public portrayal, then I think we have a major problem when it comes to one of the Doctor's primary characteristics. We've gone from being concerned that Series 11 is going to be an SJW feminist catastrophe, to having this concern deepened when nobody involved with the production denied these fears, to becoming very concerned when everything coming out of the show seemed to point to an SJW feminist lecture series, to finally having our fears confirmed over the past month or so. I referenced my last few videos on the subject, if you want more clarification on this. Heck, just check out the glass ceiling trailer. There's your confirmation. In short, the character of the Doctor is being positioned to be a feminist icon. Sounds so strange to say those words, but here we are. In order for this to happen, there needs to be fundamental changes to the way the show works, and to the Doctor's character itself. Throughout the entire history of the show, bar only a few episodes, the dynamic of Doctor Who has been the Doctor and his companion or companions, which are generally, although not always, female. In addition, there's always been a certain degree of irrationality about the character, the degree to which varies depending on the incarnation. There has also always been a dark side to the Doctor, which has been most present with Doctors 1, 4, 7, 9, 10, and Series 112. A central characteristic of the Doctor is that he is flawed, and it's his companions that are there to level this. Not only are they positioned as being a lens through which the audience experiences the show, but they're also the Doctor's buffer. They're there to make him see when a particular course of action is unwarranted, or in some cases, warranted. They are there to help him relate to other species, which is more clearly evident in the more alien Doctors like 4, 11, and 12. They are there to put a check on his powers. There are times where the Doctor has been treated as almost godlike, which really started with the 7th Doctor. This was part of Andrew Cartnell's master plan. This irrational godlike persona was intensified during New Who. This is the idea that, left unchecked, the Doctor could be inherently dangerous. Take, for instance, the 10th Doctor. This was simultaneously one of the most charismatic and yet perhaps most dangerous incarnations of the Time Lord. In his first episode, he makes it clear that he is the no second chances Doctor. Throughout David Tennant's 3 main series as the Doctor, one of the main purposes of Rose, Martha, and Donna, also Captain Jack and Mickey to a certain extent, was to keep the Doctor's megalomaniacal tendencies under control. I'm sure RTD planned out the arc for the 10th Doctor from the beginning. What we see during the specials is what happens when the Doctor goes for a long period of time without the influence of his companions. The result was the Time Lord victorious, where the Doctor sees himself as all-powerful because his companions were not there to talk sense into him. A fascinating concept that wasn't taken far enough, in my opinion. Let's look at another example, the 12th Doctor. Despite the jarring character change after his first series, the Doctor was positioned as one that did not understand humans, almost the Time Lord equivalent of Asperger's syndrome. At the same time, we had Clara, who was not only positioned as being the Doctor's equal, as pretty much every other female New Who companion has been positioned as, she actually seemed to be written as superior to the Doctor. She was there to slap his hand, or perhaps slap him into his next regeneration if he got out of line. In his second episode, he refers to her as his care, and while it was intended as a joke, the line was very representative of the relationship between the two of them. It's almost like a girl taking care of her senile father or grandfather. This is, of course, when feminism started to get out of hand in Doctor Who, so it's no surprise that it went in this direction. Thanks for that, Moffat. This isn't just characteristic of New Who. The idea that the Doctor needs humans to keep him under control actually goes back to the show's roots. When we first meet the Doctor in An Unearthly Child, we get the sense that this is someone who could potentially be very dangerous from the very beginning. The original arc placed great emphasis on his 2 human companions, Ian and Barbara, and how they were unwilling to put up with his crap. Right from the beginning, Barbara was the most outspoken and showed no hesitation in telling the Doctor where to go. This little fact is one that completely derails the feminist narrative. But hey, let's ignore how things actually were and invent things to support our agenda. We see a clear change in the first Doctor over his 3 years, owing largely to the many human companions he interacted with during his tenure. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because the idea that the Doctor can be fallible does not work in tandem with the feminist agenda when the Doctor is female. The first piece of evidence is that his companions are no longer called companions. They are called, quote, best friends. I think the idea is that they are not there to provide grounding to the Doctor. They are just there to be chums. You can see this in the second trailer when they all virtue signal in tandem that the Doctor is in charge. What we'll probably see are attempts to be amusing when they correct the Doctor on minor things, like telling her what a tongue is, and God God, Whittaker's biology line is perhaps the most cringeworthy thing I've ever seen in Doctor Who. But back to the point. Any criticisms will be small sitcom-like jokes. The more serious nature of the Doctor's inherent fallibility will be ignored and swept to the side in order to maintain the narrative. This Doctor can be positioned as nothing less than perfect and strong, which means what we will be watching is categorically not the Doctor. I think the companions will merely be there to boost the Doctor, to enhance the idea of her perfection. Furthermore, removing the idea of fallibility is removing one of the things that made the show so interesting over the years. We never really knew what the Doctor was going to do next. I think we know now, though, this Doctor will be nothing less than perfect. Feminists and SJWs are not like the rest of us. They are unable to admit that they are anything less than perfect. The very idea of virtue signaling is a symptom of this. You don't support a cause because in your heart you really believe in it. You support it because you think it makes you look good, makes you look superior to everyone else. The theme in Doctor Who Series 8 was the question, am I a good man? Something tells me there won't be any such question asked in Series 11. We should probably change the name from Doctor Who to Dr. Perfect. And that's all for today. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, and check out my other channel, Bullstrike Media, for Blu-ray and technology videos. And as always, everyone, thank you for watching, and have a great day.